We get into the morgue and acquire the neural hub from the dead hacker. Adam calls Seraph, but he insists we go to Adam's apartment and test it ourselves. This is a bit odd, since all they have to do is set up an isolated non-network computer in a secure environment, but Seraph explains he doesn't want to risk it at the office. Okay, instead he recommends going to Adam's apartment and Frank will contact us there. Adam also warns about it being military, so Adam and Seraph both give reasons to go to Adam's apartment and pretty much agree they should be extra careful. And extra careful means plugging it into a home PC, which is hopefully non-networked. Okay, I can sort of buy this since Adam is head of security and does imply he knows something about computers, but I don't understand how his apartment PC is more secure than using one of Seraph Industries' labs to plug in a device that was once connected to someone's brain. And I'm sure there are many people in Seraph Industries that know more about network security than Adam and aren't as busy as Pritchard, because, it's Seraph Industries. Regardless, this is an excellent opportunity to learn about Adam's living conditions. So, once again, Seraph does a poor job as being the plot provider, even though it allows us more insight into Adam. The subplot with Chet Wagner reveals more info on Megan's murder. He was asked to remove Intellicam footage of the attackers entering Seraph headquarters, which looked like they brought something in. Ooh, the plot thickens. Additionally, accessing the evidence locker behind the station shows us info on a second witness who, previously about to confess what they saw, had suddenly become confused and suffered a concussion. Another report states that the attack left a large amount of unknown residue as a result of things being burned, which implies the attackers wanted to remove any trace evidence. We also learned Megan's discovery was earth-shatteringly big, but she told us that in the intro, so really no new data here. The doctor who performed the autopsy on Megan determined she was killed via her neck being snapped, and her body probably burned afterward. These are excellent clues without giving clear answers as to what really happened. Essentially, Deus Ex Human Revolution now has the semblance of a murder mystery. However, the plot has other ideas. So, we finally get back to our apartment and Pritchard contacts us there. It's assumed Pritchard is still working at Seraph Industries when he says this.
Well, when you do get in there, connect the neural hub to your computer. I've created a secure tunnel, and I'll take over remotely.
You can access my personal computer.
Who do you think configured your security protocol?
Now, if Pritchard's still at Seraph Industries and he's creating a secure tunnel to Adam's computer and he still hasn't figured out how the hacker and the attackers got past his security protocols, and he configured Adam's security protocols, doesn't that mean we're actually connecting the neural hub to Seraph Industries' network, regardless of how secure this tunneling protocol is? I thought Pritchard was just going to walk us through, not remotely connect to us. Now, I'm not sure how a rectangular neural hub plugs into a disk tray as well as a human brain. Maybe USB literally became a universal serial bus, finally got the monopoly it wanted on hardware storage standards, as well as making optical drives obsolete. Anyway, we find out someone was remotely controlling the hacker, turning them into a human proxy, and we discover their last known location they transmitted their signal from, so we're off to find the real hacker. And once again, the narrative wipes its own ass with David telling us this.
Frank's figured out why the network's been compromised. There's a persistent transmission coming from Derelict Row.
Oh, so why didn't we just go to Seraph Industries in the first place if Pritchard figured out the security breach? Anyway, the real reason I can understand why the plot put us in this location was to give us a glimpse at Adam's background. Before entering, we can talk to a superintendent about a supposed special request we asked for. He is referring to the secret stash behind the TV screen. Notice how Adam doesn't respond to it.
Mr. Jensen, I fixed up your apartment real nice. That special request you asked for works like a charm. There's lots of room behind the big screen. I put the stuff in there that you asked me to. And thanks for that little something extra you left. The wife will be happy.
However, after reading the email from Athene, David's secretary, it appears the hole behind the screen was part of the wall originally. Now, if it was just a hole, it wouldn't be noteworthy, and she wouldn't need to mention a passcode for revealing it. Thus, it's safe to say one possible thing happened here. Athene spoke to the superintendent or apartment staff to get this set up as a request from Adam, including the items in it, making Adam completely oblivious as to what was going on. Unless he was blind, Adam must have been already aware of the mysterious keypad in his apartment. But he never actually read the email and didn't know the password to the hiding spot. However, he might have figured it out himself, but not remembering the password upon entering the apartment shows Adam is either forgetful or truly didn't know what the keypad was for. Either way, it's confusing and not clear who said what to who, what the special request was, and what Adam actually knew or forgot about his apartment. Considering inside the hole is weaponry, and there is an assault rifle lying on the table in front of it, and there's 2 other assault rifles lying around, I just gotta ask, what's so special about that hole? I can only guess it's the weapon upgrade in there. I also don't see Adam as much of a gift giver or being friendly in terms of with the superintendent. Right, okay, so we enter the apartment and we pretty much get the greatest result of influence from Blade Runner. The artificial nightlight streaming in through large windows, revealing a futuristic cityscape of buildings and advertisements seen from afar. Now, what is clear in the apartment is what Adam was actually doing for those 6 months. He was building a water clock. Maybe he didn't know exactly how to build it, but he obviously spent lots of time reading about it, as well as reading in general. Though the level design of the entire game is pretty much consistent with a cluttered, busy look to it, and Adam's apartment is no different, considering it's very big, it's quite literally the pictures and writings on the wall, the blueprints, the open cardboard box, and the dozens of notes on wall and window alike. Is Adam as calm and crafty to build an ancient-style clock, or was this merely a form of therapy he was engaging in after reading Living Your New Prosthetics? These little details give Adam a much richer background than simply being a gruff ex-SWAT member with a massive, shiny chip on his shoulder. Aside from what looks like a painting of family on the wall, there's also a bottle of painkillers under the table, as well as some made-up drugs in his bathroom, interestingly enough, none of which are neuropozyne. There's also candy bars in the bathroom, which is very strange. I mean, there's empty pizza and cereal boxes lying around, but I found the candy bars in the bathroom odd. So, the real big elephant in the apartment is, of course, the mirror. Upon reading the email from management, as well as the sticky note Adam left to himself on the mirror, he obviously has quite a few issues to deal with. The death of Megan, the great change to his body, and the various desires to find his attackers and intentions toward them. Something as simple as these clues give us a great juxtaposition between his seemingly controlled clock building, as well as his already hardened demeanor, and then his personal realization that his life has been completely changed. Even after 6 months, he's still trying to accept his new life and deal with the ghosts of his past. It's subtle, simple, it's part of level and narrative design, and just tells us such a story that very few characters in gaming possess. Nowhere near the level of detail from Planescape Torment, but hey, that's always the goal to strive for. Heck, you can even find out the hotel management is a bit peeved on Adam breaking these mirrors and having them replace them all the time. Either that or Adam stole that stack of Harlequin romance novels from her, those ones over by the wall, and he's been reading them so much, so quickly, that it drove him psychotic due to his social augment. Maybe not.